Welcome into Benedetti Worley Stadium, everybody, on the campus of North Central College. Kevin Jackman here with you on NCTV 17. And we should have a very good game here today with the Cardinals hosting the Bulldogs from Adrian College as NCC looks to pull out a win here on a cold and blustery day. You can hear it on our field mic. It is extremely windy this afternoon. And that'll certainly play into some of the elements that we'll see on the lacrosse field today. The Cardinals enter this contest. They're 3-6. The Bulldogs are 0-6. North Central in just its second year of existence. And, well, last year they had a fairly good year. It was a 10-4 season, obviously off to a worse start, 3-6, but they played some very good competition. And this is just their third home game of the season as they hit conference play in about 5 days. This is the final non-conference game of the season. The Cardinals head on the road next for 4, including one at Illinois Wesleyan to kick off that conference slate. And they hope for some momentum in this one. With that said, the face-off is won by the Cardinals. And they will have the game's first possession. First telecast of North Central Lacrosse. We'll have 6 broadcasts, including men's and women's this season. Hope you join us for those. Let's get to the starting lineups for these two teams. Nick Pardo for North Central, number 1, is a returner, as is Chris Ivey. Sean Tominari, Stephen Foe, Danny Boyle, John Fitzgerald as the Cardinals get on the board. Not even a minute into the contest, and they're already putting a tally up on the scoreboard. Tanner James, Brandon Pearl, and Dylan Cost are the other starters. Cost in goal for the Cardinals. We'll see how often, if at all, he gets tested today. That was Tanner James, the junior from Gurnee, a Beloit transfer, with the goal. When this team was starting up, they really looked to Tanner James for leadership. And he has certainly provided that, and now he also provides some scoring. In the early going, that is his 22nd goal, the team leader in that category. Jared Weaver is just behind him with 14, Nick Pardo with 12, Noah Perrell with another 12. Cardinals bunched up on the near side near the 30-yard line, and the Cardinals will get their offense into formation. With it right now is Matt Scheinfeld, and gets it across and zips it in to Danny Boyle with a quick goal. Boyle was certainly a standout last year, one of the team's top performers. This year has scored only 2 goals in 8 games.
Assisted by number 15, Matt Scheinfeld.
Scheinfeld with the assist, and the Cardinals already lead 2-0, a minute and a half into this contest. They have had some massive blowouts this year, the Cardinals, in a positive way. They opened up the season against Concordia University of Chicago with a 23-0 win. Tack on a 23-1 win against Northland College. And those are 2 massive offensive outputs. 26-1, 46-1 in those 2 games combined. That is something else. Well, the Bulldogs have possession of it and just trying to flip it over the shoulder, and that one gets picked off. A bad decision made on the near side by Greg Stewart. Now the Cardinals threatening again on the offensive half of the field. They're going to be patient with it as subs come racing onto the field. To the net, and the Ball skipped in there off the stick of Jared Weaver. He was looking near that far side post and couldn't get anything going there. And wow, what a shot. Weaver gets the Cardinals on the board for the third time. And it's 3-0, 12:21 to go in the opening quarter. And I think we might be seeing a trend begin in this one. Wind does not seem to be a factor at all for North Central. They have been passing with great efficiency and obviously scoring at will. 2 minutes and 40 seconds into the game, they're up 3-0. Mentioned Adrian is 0-6. They have had some competitive games, including one against Wilmington College, a 14-15 overtime loss. They just lost a game to Franciscan by a 16-9 margin. But unfortunately, they've also been on the losing end of some blowouts, including to Elmhurst by a 27-3 margin. Been tough sledding for the Bulldogs in the 2018 season. 3-0 Cardinals. 12 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Behind the net it goes. Backing up and finding some space, Tanner James. Making a move and trying to get around is Tommy Huizinga. Racing around the back is Matt Scheinfeld. Already has an assist today. And the jumping shot is blocked and saved by the Bulldog goalkeeper Peter Dugan. Dugan, a senior from Rochester, Michigan. Not the biggest guy in goal, 155 pounds, as he comes way out of the crease. Long pass is incomplete, but picked up. And now Kyle Sanderson is racing down the sideline, has it popped out of his pocket. And a foul on North Central, perhaps, or a timeout taken.
Timeout taken by Adrian.
Timeout taken by Adrian with 10:55 to go in the opening quarter. We'll take a break, too. We'll be right back after this timeout on NCTV 17. Welcome back, and Adrian, after the timeout, is looking to try and get on the board. They're trailing 3-0 against this Cardinal team that has applied pressure from the get-go. It's been real tough sledding for the Bulldogs so far, and this is their first real offensive threat. At the top, playing the point, Braden Adrian. It's an appropriate name for the college he now attends. The sophomore is from Noblesville, Indiana. Adrian College is in Michigan. And you wouldn't guess what town it's in. Maybe you would. Adrian. Ground ball still being fought for, rolling to the far side, and winning the battle for it is Isaiah Den. But a whistle, and the Cardinals will take over on that far side. Jay Farrell has done a nice job trying to recruit and build this roster. It's obviously still a work in progress, being just the program's second year as a sanctioned sport here at the college. But he has brought a lot of optimism, a go-getter attitude. You can certainly say that about Jay Farrell, and obviously his team reflects it. And there's a lot of diversity in where players have come from on this North Central team. There are obviously local products like Noah Apparel, who's a Naperville native, a Neuqua Valley alum. There are some relatively close products, including one from Barrington, that would be Dylan Cost, another from Schaumburg and Wheaton. But then there's some from out of state, including Washington, Connecticut, California, Minnesota, Florida, New York, and Indiana. So this is certainly not just a narrow scope of where he's recruiting from. Jay Farrell is going out and trying to find the best players possible, regardless of where they are. Gavin Foote with it, trying to beat his man around the corner, and now has to dish out behind the net. Swung around, a nice grab on the far side at the 20-yard line. A couple of quick checks, and the ball popped loose. And a big collision at the 50. Getting leveled is John Fitzgerald. Fernando Rodriguez providing the hit, and they're going to give this to Adrian. They're going to say that it was Fitzgerald who initiated the contact. With it is Ryan Kusin, and he zips it out of bounds, and that one's going to roll towards the river. Wind continues to swirl, and I'm sure that's making the baseball game behind us very interesting. North Central hosting Milliken this afternoon. And I can't quite make out the scoreboard from where I am perched atop Benedetti Worley Stadium. It looks like 0-0, but it's kind of hard to believe because the Cardinals beat the Big Blue yesterday in a doubleheader in both games by a combined score of 23-2. Near the net, ground ball zipped in, and that's going to give the Cardinals a 4-0 edge as they continue to click on all cylinders on the offensive end. 7:30 to go in the opening quarter, and the Cardinals on top by 4. Cardinals are more likely than not going to try and get everybody on the roster involved today. It's a good opportunity right before hitting the conference portion of the season. For nothing. And the ground ball is, well, tentatively won by the Cardinals, but a big hit provided by Joey Calzacari. That was Tanner James who scored that goal just a few moments ago, his second of the contest, and he's up to 23 on the season. Pass errant, and the Cardinals will attempt to pick it up, and they do. A nice job, good hand-eye coordination there from Brandon Pearl. And the Cardinals are back on the prowl. Lots of action this weekend. Spring sports have begun in earnest. Tennis, baseball, mentioned that just a few moments ago. Track and field is currently down in St. Louis, the men's team. Women's lacrosse will play the University of Northern, or make that Northwestern. University of Northwestern, not Northwestern University. That game will be at 4 o'clock today. That's all the action on this nice, kind of, Saturday. It's not cold. It's somewhere in the 50s right now, but the wind is certainly cutting through jackets and blankets and what have you. If you're not bundled up, you are certainly going to be cold. Ball skips by the goalie, out of the stick of Tanner James. claimed by the Cardinals off the back end line. And that one taken away by the Bulldogs. A lot of exciting action happening this spring around the campus. North Central is hoping to compete and take home a couple of conference plaques. I guess one that is almost virtually guaranteed on a yearly basis is track and field for the men's team. Cross country, they've won something like 34 in a row. Not sure what that figure is for men's track and field, but they're coming off a second place finish on the indoor season at Nationals. There's Noah Swisshelm. Slices in and out of the lane, and the pass is off the target, and Cardinals having to try and track it down. Cardinals finished in a tie for first last year at indoors, now second and only by a point, mind you. So they might be competing for a national title. In fact, they're the favorite according to the preseason polls. Battle for it near that end line, and wow, a lot of contact, and finally losing the ball was Kyle Sanderson, but he put in a lot of work. It's a lot of elbows, a lot of physicality in the early portions of this one. That claimed by Tominari. And now he is flying up the field. Dumps it off and retreats back behind the midfield line. With it is Danny Boyle, and he flips it out far side, and the Cardinals will reset. One is just off, wide, and I believe a little high, and that zips all the way out of the stadium. That one is into the parking lot. I think it just might have bumped up against the behind facade of Chipotle, downtown Naperville. That one skips up and out, and that'll also make its way towards that fence line. Well, you can really say now that Chipotle is just a stone's throw away from campus. My goodness, that ball had some pace on it. 2:40 to go in the opening quarter, and right out in front of the net and in. Cardinals back on the board, and it's Nick Pardo with his first tally of the afternoon. A 5-0 score, and North Central is continuing to keep the foot on the accelerator. Strong start for this Cardinal team, which, as I mentioned earlier in the game, this will serve as sort of a confidence builder, or so you hope it would, as you hit the conference portion of the season. This Cardinal team has played a lot of close contests, including 2 3-point losses in back-to-back games entering this contest. Swanee, the University of the South. That was a game played in Tennessee. That was an 11-8 loss. And Concordia University, Wisconsin, which was a 10-7 loss. So you'd like to see the Cardinals ideally blank the Bulldogs and claim an easy win before heading down to Bloomington for what will surely be a very difficult task in facing the Titans. It always is. They're already 6-2. They're 1-0 in conference. Them and Dubuque have played the only conference game of the season so far that the Titans won. Elmhurst is 7-1. Carthage is 7-3. Those are the top 3 teams currently in the overall standings in the CCIW. Shot blocked. still fighting to gain position and losing the ball is Noah Swisshelm. And winning it right back, the Cardinals get a shot on net, and it's, I believe, off the stick handle of the goalkeeper, Peter Dugan. On a cold, brisk day like this, I can't imagine that feels good on the hands. It's like getting jammed by a fastball on the inside corner of the plate. Long pass, and it's intercepted by NCC. Swisshelm seems to be buzzing around the ball this afternoon, dumps it down. With it is Brandon Pearl, and he'll give way. Peeling towards the front is Tommy Huizinga before passing it to the far side. Now the Cardinals set up a set play, and the shot missed wide. He yanked it just left. That was Jared Weaver on the attempt. Cardinals still with it, though. And a nice move towards the net. And again, just a tad high. The Cardinals are right there, but still have yet to be able to put that ball in the net here in the opening quarter. And hold on a second. The clock is running down. There's 10 seconds left. Now stopped 9.6 seconds. And they'll put 18 up on there. And the Cardinals will have less than half a minute to try and put this ball in the back of the twine before the first quarter expires. And that certainly won't help. Goes out of bounds. 5 seconds remaining. And the clock was supposed to stop at about 6 seconds. It did not, so they're going to have to try and put some more time up on there. There it is, 6 seconds. The Cardinals lead 5-0 and look to waste the rest of the first quarter and go into the second up 5-0. Long pass thrown up on net and through the soccer net. That's the wrong one. So the Cardinals go to the second, leading 5-0. We'll step aside, and we'll be right back for the second quarter. Or not. Hold on a second. There's a point, not even a second left on the clock, apparently. And that'll do it. Worth it. We'll go to the second quarter. We'll be right back on NCTV 17. Fun opening 15 minutes for North Central as they race out to a 5-0 lead. Welcome back to NCTV 17, everybody. I'm Kevin Jackman. Production of Cardinal Lacrosse. First of the season. Thanks for joining us. Should be a good year. The women's team is off to a good start, as Danielle Fiala looks to continue to improve that program and try and build them into a conference contender. Boy, they have really geared up for the conference part of the year the right way. They're 8-1. They're 5-0 here at home too, so this has certainly been a home field advantage for NCC. Most recently, the Cardinals taking care of Beloit College by a 20-4 score. Their only loss on the season was when they were in Colorado. They lost to Colorado College by a 21-13 margin. But prior to that, they beat Hamline University by a 15-10 score. Out in front, shot on net, good for Jacob Ray. And the Cardinals right back at it to begin this second quarter. 6-0 score, not even 40 ticks in. Robbie Ray is the ground ball, make that face-off specialist, excuse me. 92 of 169 coming into today. But that's just his third goal of the season. He's now up to 6 points. As I mentioned earlier, Tanner James, he has a couple of goals today. He's the team leader in that category. Noah Perrell is the top assist man. You could call him the point guard of this offense. 21 assists coming into this afternoon. Ground ball won by Ray. Shoveled off. Boyle down low, shot on net, and yes, sir, Tanner James. In the matter of 4 seconds, the Cardinals score twice. And it's good to give them a 7-0 lead. If you're just joining us, it is an extremely cold and windy day. I think it's more windy than cold, but that wind certainly makes it feel like the temperature is much colder than it actually is. Nevertheless, fans out taking in this game between Adrian and North Central. Cardinals coming in with Danny Boyle. And now he'll come towards the top. Only 4 attackers. Now make it 5. Now make it 6. Cardinals filling out the offensive attack. Nice move made and a shot BB'd in. And Gavin Foote, the 5'11" freshman from Cottage Grove, Minnesota, has himself a goal. And it's 8-0.
Cardinal goal by number 17, Gavin Foote.
Goalkeeper for the Bulldogs, Peter Dugan, trying to rally the troops on the defensive end. He's attempting to organize a wall. It's been easy to get through so far this afternoon, obviously with an 8-0 score. And we still have 13.5 minutes to play in this first half. Cardinals on pace for quite an afternoon. Chris Ivey with it, and now he gives it off to Boyle, and Boyle just lasers one top shelf. Right by the ear hole of Dugan. Cardinals up 9-0. Let's just recap some of the goal scorers today for the Cardinals. There's a bunch of them. Tanner James with 3. Ray with 1, Weaver 1, Foote 1. Huizinga 1, Boyle with a couple of them, including that one just there. And Nick Pardo also has 1 goal and also 3 assists. Him and James tied with 4 points apiece. Timeout taken. We'll take one, too. We'll be right back on NCTV 17. Adrian having to take a timeout. You got to regroup and figure out some sort of defense that might slow down the Cardinals. It's not like they're going to try and stop them, but maybe slow down the pace. A shot missed by Chris Ivey. It's got that long defenseman stick. Looks like a sling when you shoot with one of those things. 12:27, make that 12:57 to go in the second quarter. Cardinals already up 9-0. The ball pops out. And NCC still battling for it, and I think had too many men on the offensive half of the field, and they did. Kyle Sanderson with it. Flips it over to the top of the formation, gets it right back. Only one shot on goal, and it came with 5 seconds to go in the opening quarter. At least only one that I've seen, and technically 0. It looked like they might have put up 1 at the end of the first quarter, but according to the official stat sheet, they have not. Behind the net it goes. Near side with Morgan Caldwell. And nearly poked out. Brandon Pearl smothering his offensive counterpoint. Ball towards midfield, and hold on a moment. The Cardinals will have to slow down and reset. $11:20 to go, second quarter, and making a move towards the net, falling down and getting right back up is Tommy Huizinga. Now Peril with it. To the top with Weaver, back to Peril. Shuffling left, looking for a crease. Nothing going there. Now wheels around, and the ball jarred loose. Weaver collects. Behind the net it goes, and the stick whacked out of the hands of a Bulldog. Weaver has lost it again, and finally Adrian has possession. It's just flung downfield. Coming up, collecting is Brandon Pearl, and now he races towards the net and trying to push that forward. It popped out in the back motion, and another stick is knocked out of the hands of a Bulldog. That was Kyle Sanderson, who lost the most crucial part of the equipment. Not very valuable without your lacrosse stick. Under 10 to go in the opening half. Nice move, Weaver, shot on goal, good. The midfielder from Aurora makes it an 11-0 score.
Cardinal goal by number 18, Jared Weaver.
So Weaver again finds himself right in the middle of things, and that's his second goal. .946 to play in the half. Back to midfield it goes. Near side with Huizinga. To the top it goes. Back to Huizinga. Behind the net. Boyle controls. Looked like Tanner James wanted to unleash the equivalent of a slap shot from center ice. And that ball belongs to the Bulldogs. Wind continues to ebb and flow. Right now it is howling. Absolutely flying from right to left across the field. Goalie just being harassed at the 25-yard line, and finally a whistle blows and saves him. Cardinals have it. Perril's shot is just wide. And Bulldogs will win possession as that ball flies out the back off the end line. Holding on the Cardinals. Oh no, take that back. Cardinal ball. I misheard that. Blitzing up the field and passing that behind the net. Cardinals have it. Boyle, near side. Tries to shift around his defender, and it's right into the chest of Dugan in net. And another whistle will stop play for the moment. 7:35 to go in the half. And a flag is thrown. This will go against the Cardinals. And that one is over the head and out of bounds, so this flag will have to be enforced now that there is a change in possession. 7:18 in this second quarter. Cardinals lead 11-0. Checking in on the baseball team, which is playing mere feet away from where we are currently. And the Cardinals off to a 4-0 start in the top of the third inning. Offensively for NCC. Let's first talk about offensively for the Bulldogs, who finally get on the board. It's 11-1, and Adrian finally able to get one past Dylan Cost.
Goal line number 4, Braden Adrian.
It was Braden Adrian, appropriately, who scores the first and only goal of the game for his Adrian Bulldogs. The sophomore from Noblesville, Indiana. Back to baseball quickly. Rob Marinick with a couple of RBIs so far in this one. Here it's 11-1, and we're under 7 minutes to play in the first half. Weaver has it at the top, swings it around. Over to the far side with Pardo. Boyle. That one's popped up, and Boyle will pick it up and absolutely gets wrecked. And that was a foul. The penalty marker flew, and a Bulldog will be sent off for the time being. Wow, that was a big hit. 5:47 to go, second quarter. Shuffling behind the net, the Cardinals set something up. Swing around the horn, James, near side Peril, swung and blocked by a defender. And Peril back with it. That was Gavin Foote on the shot attempt that was stifled. He's back with it, and again stuffed in front of the crease. And the goaltender Cost. Throw it out. 5 to go to the half. And Dugan has it. Nice defense on display from Stephen Dale. Gets the turnover. James in pursuit, and he'll relent for the time being. Long pass completed. Big hit, jars the ball loose, and now the Cardinals on the prowl. Here they come up the field 4-on-4. And looks like they're going to slow it down. Weaver controls at the 30-yard line, 20 yards away from the net. Ray with it, getting whacked left and right. Coughs it up. James behind the net, directing traffic. Nice move, dips, and the ground ball is unable to sneak past the goaltender, Dugan. 3:13 to go. Bulldogs fighting for possession, and the Cardinals come up with it. Near side with it is Huizinga. Near the net is Tanner James. Dumps it down. The shot just wide, and it looks like the Bulldogs will have it. It was a nice setup, but unable to connect and make it 12-1. Suffocating defense from Boyle. Finally gives it up. Pass picked off by NCC. That is John Fitzgerald. As he continues to race up the field. Has it popped out. And a quick turnover. Now in the possession of Morgan Caldwell. Under 2 to play in the half. Bulldogs need to get something cooking. Shot on goal, ricochets around, and a whistle blocking foul on, I believe, Adrian. Cardinals should possess it near the front of the net. No, perhaps I'm wrong. Might have been the other way around. 94 ticks till the break. Bulldogs now peeling it back around the horn. Very patient. Shot is deflected and towards the sideline it goes and awarded to the Bulldogs. Oh, almost lost on a botched exchange. To the front, and the ball's still bouncing around. Cost trying to whack it away. You might want to get back in net. And the Cardinals will collect it on the near side. That's Swiss Helm. He can't keep it. Picked back up by the Bulldogs. And Cost not awarded the ball after it flies behind him. 30 seconds left. Cardinals lead 11-1. Shot is blocked by Cost. Sounded like it went off some padding. 7 seconds remaining. The Cardinals racing up the field. Can they score before the half? Beautiful move put on there by Swiss Helm. The shot is wide, and before it goes out of play, the time ticks down and the first half is over. We've hit the break, and the Cardinals lead 11-1. Join us for the second half which is coming up in 10 minutes on NCTV 17. Welcome back for the third, and the Cardinals off to a fantastic start in this one, 11-1. Although, having said that, the only blemish might be the fact that they didn't score much in the second half of that second quarter. And they haven't scored since the Bulldogs got on the board for the first time on the afternoon. Welcome back. Kevin Jackman here on NCTV 17. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Lots going on around the athletic campus at North Central College, both here and on the road, including this one, where the Cardinals lead Adrian College by an 11-1 score. North Central trying to put a stamp on the non-conference portion of the season with a victory and head into conference with a sense of momentum. Right now they're 3-6. They could certainly use a little pick-me-up in the midst of a losing streak, but they have a lot of pieces. Keep in mind this team was 10-4 last year. Shot just wayward and out in front of the net, bounces and still cannot find the twine. Out in front, and that one is headed towards the sideline and awarded to the Bulldogs. At this time in the opening quarter, the Cardinals were already leading 3-0. They came out ripping shots on net. Under 13 to go, third quarter, and the Cardinals with their first real offensive opportunity now in the second half. The sun peeks out from behind the clouds. Boy, it just got real bright out here. Almost forgot what the sun looked like. It's been an overcast, dreary day, and as you can probably hear on our field microphone, it is quite windy. Racing to the net is Tommy Huizinga, dumps it down. Tanner James with 3 goals on the afternoon, gets it outside. A feigned shot attempt, and now that one is high and wide and out of play. Belongs to North Central. (12-10) here in the third. No team has scored here in this third quarter. Another faked shot by Jared Weaver. Now to the top it goes. Coming around the bend is Matt Scheinfeld. Shot just left of the net for Tommy Huizinga and out of play. Danny Boyle was the closest to the end line. Behind the net it goes with Boyle. Swung around. And the shot attempt. No shot attempt, take that back. And now it is attempted and good for Nick Pardo, as he gives the Cardinals a dozen.
Cardinal goal by number 1, Nick Pardo. Assisted by number 7, Danny Boyle.
For Pardo, that's his second goal of the day. Also rack up 3 assists for number 1. So 5 total points, and that leads the team. Danny Boyle with 4, Tanner James with 4. Battling for that faceoff And it's won by the Bulldogs. Speaking of Bulldogs, Fernando Rodriguez, all 244 pounds of him, are hustling and bustling his way to the hoop right now. And the goal is good. Rodriguez with the assist. And the goal is good for Morgan Caldwell, the junior from Cadillac, Michigan.
Bulldog goal by number 6, Morgan Caldwell. Assisted by number 30.
Second goal of the day for the Bulldogs. First for Caldwell, the other one scored by Braden Adrian. So at 10:55, the teams have swapped goals here in the third. Nice job in defense by John Fitzgerald as he tries to give it off, and now it's knocked out of the stick of Stephen Dale. Out of bounds, and it goes to the Bulldogs. At the top with Michael Turner. Turner actually a Naperville native. He attended Neuqua Valley. He's a senior. Spin back towards the net and trying to fight off stick contact is Caldwell. And a turnover, and the Cardinals have it. That was taken away by Matt Eaker, a freshman from Schaumburg. Stopping on a dime is Stephen Foe. And now he'll back it out, and Cardinals will reset. Controlling is Ray. He streaks towards the net, gives off from behind. Boyle bends around. Shot on is good. And Boyle, again, nets a score. The 5'5" sophomore from Lamont is having a nice afternoon. Boyle now with 3 goals and 2 assists and ties Pardo for the team lead in points with 5. NCC up 13-2. Mentioned baseball in action today. They led in this game 4-0 in the top of the third inning, but Milliken came out with 3 runs. Cardinals bouncing back though. They just netted a run, and they lead 5-3 in the bottom of the 4th inning. They have been on the corners with only 1 out. Eric Outlaw with 2 hits and 2 RBIs in the contest. Now Michael Matea, who's hitting an absurd .470 in the first 13 games of the season, is at the plate. Could very well wind up being one of the best players North Central has ever seen, and he's only a junior. Ball bounced in there by Tanner James, and it's collected by the Bulldogs, and the Cardinals retreat. Eight minutes to play here in the third. And a whistle blows, and a push in the back will ding the Cardinals. Another big gust of wind whips through the stadium. And the faint sound of sirens in the background as well. Edwards Hospital is right down the road. Ball flies out of the pocket, and Dylan Cost picks it up. Nice move there, put on by Stephen Foe, and again, putting his defender through the spin cycle. Gets around, shot on goal. Whole lot of work for Foe. And he's got some more. 14-2. Cardinals lead.
Cardinal goal by number 6, Stephen Foe.
Cardinals continuing to score at a pretty solid pace today. They're certainly projected to put up more than 20 on the afternoon. Never want to say you could predict these things, but certainly with the way Adrian's season has shaped up, it's more likely than not the Cardinals were going to come into this game and light up the scoreboard. And another foul, another whistle, and the Cardinals will get it at about the 45-yard line. And here they come. 6:43 to go, third quarter. Ball pinballs around. Sun continues to waver. In and out it goes, sneaking out and behind the clouds. Slung around, and the Cardinals have it on the far side. Shot is high, no, snagged. Taken away by the goalkeeper, Dugan. And a little botched exchange. Now Tanner James has it near side in the corner. Five minutes and change here. Out in front of the net, and that one high. Out of the pocket of Nick Pardo. And was that in? Or was that off the post? Must have been in off the post. And the Bulldogs take over. And good passing gives them a lot of room to roam. Controlling it right now is Michael Desmadro. Rodriguez backs it out and gives off to Turner. Much quicker pace here in the third than we saw in the first half. Not a lot of stoppages. Only 4 goals have been counted up here in the third. 3 for the Cardinals and 1 for the Bulldogs. And that one whipped out of play. That was Braden Adrian on the shot attempt. At the top, faking and getting taken out was Turner. Now a lob out in front, and Stephen Foe has it. Has one goal today. Let's see what he can do now. He'll just take it all the way to the net, and it's good. Falling down, twisting towards the turf. He's able to get it inside the post, and he looks a little shaken up. Had the defender fall down in the middle of his back. He might have to shake that off on the bench, but what a goal that was. Impressive stuff for number 6 in his second goal of this second half. 3:36 to play in the third. .330 to go in the third, and the Cardinals coming right back down to the offensive end. And pop loose for the Cardinals there to pick it up. Tanner James backs out. Pardo across the field. Now at the top with Peril. Back to Pardo. Quick shot on goal. Cardinals now pouring it on. It is 16-2. North Central leads Adrian.
Assisted by number 2, Noah Harrell.
Face off, and it's won by the Bulldogs. Taking that off the turf is Joey Calcitari. Shovels it on over. With it is Kyle Sanderson. Bulldogs with it inside midfield. 2 minutes ago, and the wind picking up again. Coming around the bend is Morgan Caldwell. And he coughs it up. The Cardinals almost get it right back. Dylan Cusin trying to maintain possession. Picked up by Turner. Turner very active here in the third. The 5'5", 125-pound Naperville native. Outside, and looked like Bulldogs were gearing up for a long shot, a long blast on net. That's straight up the elevator shaft. And the backhand shot is thrown off and out of target, and Cost will claim it. 1:01 to go on the clock. I think Cost needs a ball. That might help. Cost lobs it ahead. Completes that to Kendall Reed. First time we've called his name today. Reed, a freshman from Indiana. Over to Boyle. The long pass finds Ray, and Ray backs it out. Cardinals might just try and hold on for the last possession of this third quarter. They're up 16-2, half a minute to go. With it is Scheinfeld. He's forced to give it off to Tanner James. His shot ricochets right back to him. Now 10 on the clock. Wind picks up. Ball still loose. James fighting for it. Finally won. Give it off. And a long blast will have to be put on net. And it is blocked. And the final shot attempt is no good as Dugan covers it up and we head to the fourth. North Central leads 16-2. We'll go to the final stanza next on NCTV 17. Final 15 minutes are up on the board. And the Bulldogs awarded the ball off the opening faceoff. Feels like the temperature might be dropping here in Naperville as the ball is skipped in and Cost tries to cover it up. Still loose, apparently. Either that or it's in his stick and he doesn't know it, but no, it is plucked off the turf by the Bulldogs. On the near side and waiting for help. A couple of subs coming into the game. There's Turner. Gives it right back to Caldwell. Trying to get around is Rodriguez. He was stifled by the Cardinal defense. And the shot is way off target. Seemed to come out of the side of the stick. The Cardinals have it. And now the Bulldogs have it as they race up the field. With it, DJ Hughes. Shoots it over near side to Caldwell, and he'll slow things down. Rodriguez, Turner, and to the top it goes with the Bulldogs trying to figure something out on the offensive end to get back on the board for the second time in the second half. That might have been it. Well set up. Unable to convert is Kyle Trucks. And on the defensive end, it's Matt Eaker who picked it off the turf. Near side with Foe. Danny Boyle backs it out to Weaver. Now Weaver goes over to Huizinga. Huizinga gets shoved to the turf, loses the ball, and then gets bumped out of the way. And the pass is errant and off the sideline. The Cardinals will have it. There's a lot of physicality on that last sequence, and in particular here in the fourth. Boyle dekes one way, now comes the other, and goes top shelf and off the crossbar. Huizinga with it, and it's back to Boyle behind the net. He was an inch away from having another goal. And there it is. He'll get it right back. 17-2 here in the fourth. Now, I mentioned that the baseball game across the way had tightened up. North Central led 4-0. Milliken battled back with 3. And not so much anymore. North Central has exploded for 7 runs in the 4th inning. And it has finally moved to the top of the 5th. But the Cardinals doing all that damage in the 4th inning, and they lead comfortably 11-3. Matt Sutherland, a 2-sport star here at North Central. A couple of hits, a couple of RBIs. He's both the starting shortstop for the baseball team and also the starting safety for the football team. Took over mid-season. $11 minutes to go in the 4th. Greg Stewart was trying to twist his way to some wiggle room and couldn't, and a timeout taken by Adrian, and we'll take one too. 17-2 in the 4th. 10:50 to go. We'll be right back on NCTV 17. Welcome back. Action has picked back up following the timeout taken by Adrian, as they trail 17-2. Rodriguez stops shy of the goal, now turns and twists and fires and wide of the target. The goal was knocked off its proper place. The official having to put it back. Turner trying to shake free. Goes out in front, and a skipper in there out of the pocket of Caldwell. Seems like the Bulldogs' best weapon, as Caldwell has scored twice today. The other goal belongs to Adrian. Braden, Adrian.
Goal by number 6, Morgan Caldwell. Assisted by number 1, Michael Turner.
Turner on the assist. So with 10:14 to go in the game, it's now 17-3. Cardinals clogging the front of the net. Bulldogs trying to space them out. Cardinals almost daring them to shoot from long range. Ball up for grabs. Out of the stick of a Bulldog attacker and picked up by North Central. Fitzgerald has it. Gives off to Swisshelm. Offsides called on North Central. They seemed a little bit perplexed by that call. Defenseman carrying that in, that's Greg Stewart. Now he'll retreat back to the defensive side in exchange for an offensive player. Rodriguez with it. Very slow, monotonous pace that the Bulldogs are displaying on the offensive end right now as he tries to flip one as he falls to the turf. Unable to do that. Eight to go in the game. Weaver has it, and he'll give off to Noah Perrell. Perrell, from right here in Naperville, went to Neuqua Valley. He's a sophomore. He's the only Naperville native on this roster. Foot backs it out, Perrell to the top, Weaver. Weaver stick checked, leans in, tries to get around the edge. Gives off to Boyle, Boyle to the top, and the Cardinals reset. Perrell with room, fires and it's wide. Kicked around a couple of times. The goalie, Dugan, dragged out of the crease and Boyle picks it up. His pass will go out of play. Battle for it at the 30-yard line. Colin Hull, a senior defenseman for the Bulldogs, was in there. And a pull on North Central. Grabbing the jersey and committing that infraction was Stephen Dale. Out in front of Sanderson, his shot is not close to either pipe, and out of play it goes. Bulldogs closest to it as it whizzes out of play and are awarded the ball. Sanderson unable to get there, and a turnover. Cardinals will take over. Taken away by the Bulldogs with 6 minutes to go. A lot of physicality here, and Cardinals would have been penalized for it had they gotten the turnover. Shot on net from Turner. And a flag. It's going to be against the Bulldogs. Behind the play is Tanner James, and James easily skips it in. As the Cardinals continue to carve up this Adrian team. 18-3.
Cardinal goal by number 24, Tanner James.
5:15 to go in the fourth. Goal scorers today for North Central: 3 for Nick Pardo, Stephen Foe with 2, Danny Boyle with 4, Tommy Huizinga with 1, Gavin Foote with 1, Jared Weaver 2, Jacob Ray with a single goal, and Tanner James with 4. Team leader in points. That distinction belongs to Boyle, who also has 2 assists, and Nick Pardo, who has 3 of each. 2 points, make that 3 points and 3 assists. On front and leveled after scoring the goal. Scheinfeld finding the back of the net, and then also earns a flag. And Adrian is, they're not in good shape right now. 19-3 here in the fourth.
Cardinal goal by number 15, Matt Scheinfeld.
I believe that penalty was on Greg Stewart. Don't forget, you can check out highlights of North Central athletic games. This game will not be online. However, the baseball game just across the way will be. You'll be able to watch all the highlights on nctv17.com and also Go to the college's athletic YouTube page. It's another goal. Put on net, Tommy Huizinga for the second time today, and now the Cardinals have reached that 20-point plateau with 4:34 to go.
Huizinga, assisted by number 2, Noah Farrell.
So the Cardinals lead by 17. There's 4.5 minutes to play. Coming around the bend, the shot blocked by Dugan. Foot nearly had himself another goal. And that's off the sideline. Adrian will have it. The wind has returned. The flags next to the scoreboard have stiffened in the wind. The scrum for it, and off the sideline, who was that last touched by? It's going to be Bulldog possession. So with 3:17 to play, Adrian has it on the offensive end, trailing 20-3. In front of the net, Cost trying to smother the ball, and it's in between his legs right now, and finally able to collect it and get rid of that contingency of Bulldogs that was pestering him. Justin Baber gives off. Scheinfeld with it. 2.5 to go. Boyle can't get that ball cleanly. Now he's getting whacked. 2 to go. Cardinals might be happy just simply wasting that time off the clock. Not sure if they're going to put up a serious shot on net or not. Cardinal baseball team has netted another run. Lead, I'll make that 2. 13-3. Bottom of the 5th inning against Milliken. And there is goal number 21. Scored by Justin Baber, a freshman from Carroll Stream, product of West Chicago. Minute 21 up on the clock.
Cardinal goal by number 20, Justin Baber. Assisted by number 17, Gavin Foot.
Gavin Foot with the assist, and the Cardinals are going to exit today with a massive win over this Adrian team. And coming up next, they have the conference portion of the schedule. They have yet to play a single conference game. But up next, CCIW rival Illinois Wesleyan. That'll be under the lights at Bloomington on April 4th at 7:30. In fact, the next 4 games are all on the road for North Central. A scheduling snafu had both Elmhurst and North Central hosting a game on the 21st. They ended up giving that home date to the Blue Jays. So it'll be Illinois Wesleyan, Augustana, Carroll, Elmhurst before the Cardinals return home for the final 2 games of the conference slate against the University of Dubuque and Carthage College. And we'll have both of those on NCTV 17. That's on April 25th and April 28th, very end of the month. And hopefully by then the Cardinals will be in a good position to perhaps make the conference tournament and make a bit of a postseason run. They've got some work to do, but certainly today was a good indication that when the offense is clicking, they can get a lot done. That one is caught behind the net. And the Cardinals are going to run this one out. I don't think they're going to put any more shots on Dugan. Sun is out. The wind continues to blow. It was a pretty but windy day, and ultimately a Cardinal victory over Adrian College. The Cardinals will improve to 4-6 on the season. And they're going to hit the conference portion of the schedule with a bit of a sense of momentum, which is always welcome at this time of year. Want to thank our on-site producer and cameraman, not to mention sports director Justin Cornwell, for standing out in this vortex that is called Benedetti Worley Stadium. It was a windy, cold day, and he survived the elements. I want to thank him for that. I want to thank you for tuning in as the Cardinals officially win 21-3 here at Benedetti Worley Stadium. And now they hit the road for a 4-game stint. I'm Kevin Jackman. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, we'll see you next time on NCTV 17.